What if the only permission that we need is from ourselves? Let's break the rules together. Hi, I'm Tanya, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Threshold. And today we're going to talk about permission slips. Not the ones I used to use a lot in my former life as a teacher, but little internal nods that we can give ourselves in order to go against the grain, upset the apple cart, do what we want to do for ourselves, not what society expects us to do. And the reason I'm talking about that today is it's, of course, that time of year that I've always felt ruined Christmas holidays, which is the New Year, New You time of year. And it feels forced. So let's start with that. The universal myth of the resolution that we have to do it. Every January, we're going to change our entire lives. Why? Because it's January. Not because we want to, not because we feel we necessarily have to, but because society has told us that in January we have to go to the gym and eat right and quit every bad habit we have. And most of us fail by February, not because we're weak or lazy or anything, but because it was extrinsically motivated instead of intrinsically motivated. We didn't necessarily feel like we had to do all of it in January, but everybody around us was telling us that we should. So let's give ourselves a permission slip to go on our own clock and our own compass. Let's be in charge of our own timelines this year. This year, I'm giving myself permission to opt out with a permission slip. I'm going to write myself a note, and it'll say something to the effect of, I give myself, and I can even fill in my name if I want to. I can make it look like the ones I used to use in my former life. Permission to skip New Year's resolutions in 2025 and work on my own timeline and do what feels right for me. That will be my permission slip for this year. And I feel like actually writing out the permission slip, or it doesn't have to be exactly in the format of those school permission slips, but actually writing out a permission slip gives it that sort of extra oomph that validates your choices, especially in the face of so much societal pressure. And instead, you could give yourself permission to rest and figure out what you want to do next, or just rest because you deserve it, and rest is a right, not an earned thing. You could give yourself permission to make just small changes that you think you should be doing, or actually I'm going to cancel that, not should. Small changes that you could be doing that you feel, that you yourself feel like would benefit you. Or you can also give yourself permission to follow your own seasons, right? Like last week we talked about the moon. Maybe you want to follow the moon. Maybe because you were in school for so long, or maybe like me, you were in school almost your whole life because then you worked in a school. You could follow the school season, and maybe it feels better to do your New Year's resolutions in September. I know that I always felt like January was sort of my society and my work were in conflict with one another, because work as a secondary school teacher was having me finish a semester, like finish strong. And society was telling me, no, it's time to start anew. So again, go with any timeline. Maybe you're in a job, or maybe you're in your hobbies, or just your life in general doesn't flow with this January to December type calendar. Maybe you like fresh starts in the spring. Maybe you want to do the summer solstice. Maybe you're in the southern hemisphere and it feels like summer, and summer is not a great time for you to start new things because the weather's great and you just want to be outside enjoying your life. So whatever you want to do, give yourself a permission slip. Grab a sticky note or a notebook. Write one or two things out. For example, I give myself permission to reflect and not act this week. And then put it around where you'll see it so you remember. Put it on your laptop, put it on your mirror, put it on your fridge. And then revisit and revise those permission slips as you need them. These slips are your permission to break free from the shoulds. Not to avoid things that you know, that you yourself know you should be doing, but to avoid things that society is telling you should do, or to avoid things that the society is telling you now is the time for. You decide on the timeline, you decide on the when, you decide on the how. That's what these permission slips are helping to remind us to do. I think that the beauty of permission slips is that it takes the focus off arbitrary deadlines and arbitrary expectations from external forces and puts the focus on ourselves and what we actually want, our authentic selves. If you feel the need to wrap up a year, one way you can do that is actually by looking back on it, kind of like the Spotify Unwrapped. I like to scroll through my phone and at all the pictures that I took of the year to see all the fun times that I had with family and friends, and look back on that as a great year spent with the people that I love. I also scroll through my agenda. Well, not scroll because it's a paper agenda, but I look through my agenda and see all the things that I accomplished, and the time that I spent with friends and the people I met, and that kind of great stuff. I actually do that once a month. At the end of the month, I do it, and then now I'm going to do it for the year. And it actually is a great way of seeing actually that you've probably come further than you thought, if that's something that you are working on. But of course, again, it can also show you that you had a great year of rest, a great year of reset, whatever it is that you felt called to do, because we're following our authentic selves and not some arbitrary outside agenda. So you can think about how 2024 felt to you, and maybe how you want more of that feeling in 2025. Maybe it was peace, maybe it was reflection. And you can think about maybe how you could do that. Maybe have a plan, maybe not, but do what feels good to you. So here's your permission slip from me. Not that you need one, because remember, the only permission slip you need is the one from yourself. But in case you need to start off with a little permission from some external source, here's mine for you. You don't need to make a New Year's resolution in January. You can start or not start at all when it feels right to you. So remember, what's beyond the threshold is yours to define. Take care, and good luck with those permission slips, and happy 2025. Resolutions or none.